What's up, Two-Tone Blue Nation? We know what you're thinking. Where's the intro music? Well, it's coming up in a bit, but first, Austin Hall, Colton, and myself are excited to announce that the podcast is getting a much-needed makeover.
That's right. We're shaking things up, taking this podcast in a new direction. You know, we thought about how it went in the past, and we wanted to switch it up. We owed it to y'all, the listeners. We wanted to provide more fun and entertaining content instead of the run-of-the-mill content that we had been putting out.
You know, we love our listeners. We love our group. And most importantly, we love getting together and talking about our beloved Tennessee Titans. That's never going to change, all right? COVID in 2020 as a whole impacted our group, all right? There's no hiding that. It's kept us apart for way too damn long. Now, we hope that you'll enjoy this new take on the podcast as it aims to not only entertain, inform, and embrace you, not just as a fan, but as a member of the Two-Tone Blue Nation.
The first thing you'll notice is that the podcast is going to be broken down into 4 quarters, just like a football game. These segments will have their own theme, and we'll even give you, the listener, a chance to come onto the pod, play some games, and win some prizes.
I'm super excited about this because Two-Tone Blue Nation has always aimed to put the Titans fans first in everything we do, and we plan to take that to the next level with this podcast.
And without further ado, we present to you the new and improved Two-Tone Blue Nation Talk.
Welcome to the NFL. Let's go! Let's go!
Titans fans, are you ready for some football?
Spartans! What is your profession?
Welcome to Two-Tone Blue Nation. By fans, for fans. Two-Tone Blue Nation. Organizing tailgates and events. If you're all about Tennessee Titans football, this is your podcast.
Now here we go!
And here comes your hosts, Big Luke, King Cole, and Austin Hall.
Welcome in, everyone. I'm King Cole. I've got Austin Hall here by my side, and we are proud to present to you the all-new edition of the best tailgate podcast in the world, Two-Tone Blue Nation Talk. Also want to introduce to you a new host. Filling in for Big Luke, we've got Big Red Colton Hicks. We'll go ahead and get things rolling with our kickoff segment. This portion of the pod is going to be our Around the Room news segment. Seeing as how it's been a while since we've done a podcast, there's plenty to talk about in the world of Two-Tone Blue Nation. Big Red, go ahead and kick us off.
All right, so the news has now officially come in that we now have a 17th game added to our schedules. Now, this has been, it's crazy because it's actually been very controversial. Some players are liking it, some players are hating it. You see it all over Twitter, social media in general. Me personally as a fan, I love it because, hell, it's an extra game. And I know everyone else that are also fans, they're also very happy about this. I mean, hell, it's an extra game. Now, what I'm not a big fan of was the fact that they didn't give the teams an extra bye week. They just moved up the schedule, which I thought was extremely strange because these guys have been playing 17 games and you're only going to give them 1 bye week. To me, it's a little messed up. I feel like that there should have been 2 bye weeks put in there, but you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, we finally have our 17-game schedule, which is huge for a lot of us. No one really watched the preseason game, especially the 4th one, because that was when all the bubble guys were playing, so no one's really paying attention. But I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I'm ready for this. I mean, it's just another game we get to have fun with, and I will say this right now though, there's no more 8-8s. The Jeff Fisher era of the whole 8-8 is gone.
It's an extra tailgate, too. It's an extra tailgate. You know, we get an extra home game this year, so 9 chances to tailgate under the bridge in Lot R, do our thing. I'll agree with you. I think it's odd that there's no extra bye week. You look at the college schedule. This college schedule is a 12-season game. They get 2 bye weeks. It doesn't make sense to not have that extra bye week, even though you are reducing the preseason. Not a big fan of that aspect of it, but the more football we get as fans, the better it is.
Yeah, see, like when it first came out, I honestly thought it came down to the money. And I still think it makes sense that money's the issue behind it. Because think about how much money the NFL lost after this year by not having all their fans there. They lost billions of dollars. Now, I will say everybody should have expected this to be coming up because 2 years ago when the CBA did sign it that there was going to be an extra game added, now it's just finally happening.
Austin, what do you got for today?
Well, I got some exciting news, hopefully exciting news. The NFL owners, they're expected to approve a proposal that would alter the league's jersey number rule soon. The rule change was proposed by the Chiefs. That kind of kick-started things off. It would allow running backs, tight ends, wide receivers to wear any number ranging from 1 to 49, as well as from 80 to 89. And in my opinion, I think Derrick Henry might switch back to number 2. That's what he wore at Yulee High School, and that's what he wore at Alabama. Personally, I don't have an issue with it. I remember actually Reggie Bush back in the day, whenever he got drafted, he put in a request to wear number 5 when he was coming out of USC, and he was upset about it. They wouldn't let him do it. But, I never had an issue with it. I never understood why they wouldn't let, players switch to single-digit numbers if you're a wide receiver, or running back, or whatnot. But I think it looks pretty good, too. And after this, changing the number rule, they need to focus on changing the helmet rule because I want to see the Titans wear the Oilers uniforms.
I feel like the number rule just simply comes down to the traditionalists of the NFL. Because I feel like a lot of like the old timers, been with the NFL since like the 60s and 70s. Like it's because it's how it's always been. They're not very subject to change. You can kind of tell that by the uniforms. I mean, the Packers have they've had the same uniforms for the last 60 years. Like a lot of it's just very traditional. That's the issue with it all. It's so traditional. People don't like it that everything's evolving and moving. So I feel like those are the real people that are backlashing at it because I feel like everybody else is on board. Am I wrong here? I feel like I'm wrong.
I'm going to raise my hand here and say that I'm a traditionalist. I actually like the basically when you get done with college, you're graduating up into big boy football, and big boy football wears traditional numbers. They've kind of got this whole thing set up. You got to play by a different set of rules because you're going into a man's game. Kids wear, number 1 and play defensive end. Grown men wear number 99. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense.
I don't think that a grown man standing next to you wearing the number 2 is going to determine if he's going to rush for 2,000 yards or not.
No, it doesn't. But going back to the Derrick Henry thing, I don't think he'll change back to number 2. The reason being, I remember he and a former teammate of his, Alti Tenpenny, when they were back in college together at Alabama, they discussed, what number they would wear. And his teammate, Alti Tenpenny, said he would wear number 22 if he ever got to the pros. Unfortunately, Tenpenny tragically passed away before they entered the league together. And I think Derrick Henry wears 22 as a tribute to him. So I don't think we'll see Derrick Henry going back to number 2 for that reason there. And then personally, I think he's already kind of built up his legacy. He's already rushed for 2,000 yards in the number 22 jersey. No sense in going back to it. But yeah, I'm more of a traditionalist. If they pass it, I'm not. It's not going to affect me one way or the other. It'll be fine. I'll get over it.
I think it looks cool. It looks cool. Like when you see a wide receiver wearing number 4, it's pretty cool. It's different.
I agree to disagree, but I do think that the next thing that they need to look at is the helmet rule. It's ridiculous. They've allowed it in the past. There's no reason to not allow it in the future. And I do want to see the oil derricks on the side of the helmets when we go into Houston and when Houston comes into Nashville just to rub it in their face.
The edited photos look sick online, so I know they would look sick in person.
It's like Houston can be like, oh, those are our uniforms. Like, hey, asshole, we wore them for 2 years before the damn stadium was built.
Yeah, that argument for them will never end.
It's insane. Like, I don't understand why they want it. Like, your team left your city for a reason.
Yeah, and they were an expansion team. I don't know if they know the definition of that, but that's starting over.
So if there's any Houston fans, quit your bitching.
To any Texans fans that might be listening to this podcast, I've got 2 things to say to you. 1, the earth is not flat. And 2, the Oilers are not your team. That belongs to the Adams family. All right, last bit of news for the day. Jim Schwartz returning back to Tennessee. You're going to take over as senior defensive assistant. Going to give Shane Bowen an extra, mind to kind of bounce some ideas off of. Surely he can pick something out that's going to help him out. This was one of the worst teams defensively in the NFL last year, especially on third down. I feel like Jim Schwartz has always been around some good defenses. You look back at 2008 when the Titans went 13-3, the number 1 seed in the AFC. Jim Schwartz was here coaching that monstrous defense. You can say what you want about Chris Johnson. He was an electric player. But that year was all credited to the defense. You had Albert Haynesworth, Kyle Vanden Bosch. The pass rush was insane. Hopefully he brings a bit of that attitude with him back to Nashville. He had some success in Philadelphia, leading the Eagles to a Super Bowl appearance and coming just short. No, they won. They won the Super Bowl, didn't they? Yeah, he went and got a ring. Never mind, my bad. And that defense also was a top 5 defense in the NFL. So bringing back a guy of his caliber, never a bad idea. I'm glad he's back. Some people have got some mixed feelings. I can't see why this would be viewed as anything but a positive move. And if things go south, perhaps we see him take on a defensive coordinator role in the future.
I'm going to tell you this right now, King Cole. By week 7, Jim Schwartz will be our defensive coordinator. I'm calling it right now.
If that's the case, then we're probably sitting at like 2-5, because there's no way they're going to get rid of Shane Bowen if we're 500 or better.
They will if our defense goes up 35 points a game, but the offense scores 45.
Hell, that's Vrabel's buddy right there. I don't know if they'll let him go.
Here's the thing. Here's the ideal scenario for me. Shane Bowen retains the title of defensive coordinator. Jim Schwartz is doing all the legwork, and at the season's end, they make the right move, retain Schwartz, get rid of Bowen if there's a need to get rid of Bowen. But again, I don't want to be 2-5. I don't want to have to be making coaching changes in the middle of the season. That's never a good look. It means you're not succeeding during the season.
Shane Bowen did succeed all last year. And we saw what happened to the defense. And not only that, we've lost half our defense. There's no way that there's no way that by week 1, Shane Bowen will be the defensive coordinator, and week 17, Shane Bowen will still be the defensive coordinator. Not after last season.
So the last thing I'll say about the Jim Schwartz hire, there's a little bit of a schematic difference. Jim Schwartz typically has coached as a 4-3 defensive guy with an odd man front. I'm not sure how that translates. I'm sure that he's been around 3-4 defenses enough in his life that he's not just blind or dumb to it. I'm sure he knows just as much about it as the next guy. But the fact that he's never really worked hand-in-hand in a 3-4 defense does kind of raise a little bit of concern.
He's a coach in the NFL. He'll be all right.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's the case, but that's just one thing that I've seen pop up. A lot of people have raised that flag as to, well, he's a 4-3 guy. We're on a 3-4 defense. Yeah, he's got all summer to watch film and brush up on what we do and insert his opinions.
You're not a coach. I mean, how long has that man been coaching in the NFL? For 20 years now? 22 years? There's no way. I mean, the guy's going to have ideas from 3-4, 4-3. I mean, shit. Shane Bowen's going to bring his 3-4 ideas. Jim Schwartz is going to bring his 4-3 ideas. And either way, it's going to be a lot of heavy blitzing. We'll have to see what happens. But I still think that Jim Schwartz will be taking over at some point in time by the end of the year.
All right, well, that's going to bring us to the end of segment 1 with our kickoff. You guys know what my favorite thing about springtime is?
Easter lilies, the blooming flowers, light rain on a tin roof. What, King Cole? What is it? Tell us.
It's the draft. It's literally more exciting than most other sports actual games. It's the time of the year where hope springs eternal and every team comes away feeling like they have bettered themselves and set the foundation for years to come with the picks that they've made. However, leading up to the draft can lead to tons of speculation, and armchair GMs are everywhere. They come out of every nook and cranny. They give their opinions. They think they know which prospect their team should draft, and if they don't draft that guy, then they scream at the TV. And here at Two-Tone Blue Nation, we're no different. We're no better. We're the exact same way.
Which leads us to our next segment, Tailgate Debates.
The rules of this segment are simple. The judge determines who goes first. From there, each host will have 60 seconds to present their cases uninterrupted. After both sides have spoken, they will each get an additional 30 seconds for a rebuttal. At the end of that time, the judge will declare a winner.
For this episode, I'll be the judge while Colton and Austin debate on which side of the ball the Titans should draft with the 22nd overall pick. Their goal should be to convince me that they know what's best for the outlook of the Titans. As the judge, I have randomly selected Colton to go first. Colton,
All right.
You have the floor.
Round 1. Fight!
Even though we did have a top 5 offense this past year, we've lost a ton of talent. So we have to get it back. Then we have to look at the 3 big holes that the Titans do need to fill. One, starting off with tackles, wide receivers, and tight ends. Because as of right now, everywhere else on the board is good to go. We got quarterbacks, we got running back, we've got 4 of the 5 offensive linemen that we need. But we do still need a right tackle. For love of God, we've got to get some receivers, and we can never have enough tight ends. So there's a couple of guys that are very intriguing when it does come for that position. And a lot of it comes down to the type of talent that's going to be there. So at the 22 pick, there's not going to be a whole lot of tackle talent that's good enough for that pick. And a tight end, unless Kyle Pitts somehow magically falls down to 22, there's not really a good tight end that's going to be good. That's going to be able to pick up until at the 3rd or 4th round. So me personally, we need to be going wide receiver. And there's a couple of guys that are absolute studs because obviously like the big guys are going to be gone. Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith. I think we need to go get Rashad Bateman. Just watching that man's film. He is insanely fast. He can take the top off the defense. Dude is absolutely huge at 6'2", and he's 210 pounds. On top of that, he attacks the ball. The dude's footwork is absolutely immaculate, and he's a big physical receiver, and he is not afraid to take a hit. There's also a couple of other guys that could potentially be good spots over that pick. I still think Elijah Moore is a stretch at 22, but if he was able to fall to the 2nd round, that wouldn't be too bad. If we had really had to get a tackle, though, Tevin Jenkins isn't a bad one at 22 as well, and a tight end is not even worth at 22. So we need to be on wide receiver because we have A.J. Brown as our number 1 receiver, and who is our next receiver up? Okay, Josh Reynolds, and he's still average at best. We need someone else that's going to be able to be young and absolutely boost up the number 2 pick. So I think we need to be going receiver.
All right. Well, since you went 160 seconds instead of 60, I'll just do the normal 60 seconds.
Hold on.
Don't interrupt me, King Cole. Fired up right now because he went 160
All right, fire
seconds.
me up. Fire me up. I want you to give me the forward bundle. Why do you think we need to be going defense?
All right. Order. All right. So, Colton, you actually got 2 minutes. Austin, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. You make your case for defensive prospects. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And go.
Listen, I don't need 2 minutes. I need 1 minute because I get my point across. We need help at pass rush. We need help in the secondary. It is so important to winning championships. Look what the Bucs did in the Super Bowl versus Patty Mahomes. They had pressure on him the whole game. Their defensive line just penetrated the holes. Exactly what I mean right now, no pun intended. Our defense was so historically bad last year, and for some reason we promoted, air quotes, Shane Bowen as the defensive coordinator. So he needs some help. You know, regardless of losing Corey Davis and Jonnu on the offense, it won't matter because Derrick Henry runs the ball, play action, Ryan Tannehill, boom. He's going to make any wide receiver open. Let's get it on offense already, whatever. So back to defense. There's a guy out of Michigan, Kwity Paye. He's outstanding. His speed is insane, 4.5, 240. He's 6'4", 270. That size is crazy for a guy that can run that fast. He has a skill set to make an impact right away. And, Titans fans, we've been begging for a pass rush for a long time now. We went out and got Autry, went out and got Bud Dupree, and now you draft Kwity Paye from Michigan. You'll have yourself a scary pass rush, and we can't forget to mention Big Jeff. They might be one of the best pass rushers in the league.
All right, a little more than 60 seconds, not quite the hour and a half that Colton took up. Colton, you get 30 more seconds. That's 30 Mississippi seconds. You get one last chance for rebuttal. Let's see what you got.
Round 2. Fight!
I understand defense does win championships. I can't deny that. But here's the deal. With a first-round pick, they have to be immediate. They have to immediately play. Your first-rounders, you have to play immediately. But we already have the pass rushers. We have Bud Dupree. We have Harold Landry. Those are your 2 edge guys. We have A.J. Brown and then Josh Reynolds. That's what we have on offense. We need a guy that's going to come in immediately and play. And you know who that is? Rashad Bateman.
All right, Austin, you get 30 more seconds. Sell it.
Look, I get it. We have holes all over the team right now, but the most important part is the defensive line and the edge rushers. We've been begging for it for years. We need it now. That's what wins championships. Here's a fun little fact for you. The team with the most sacks in the playoffs over the last 10 years has won 7 of the last 10 Super Bowls. If that doesn't sell it for you, I don't know what will.
All right, so after hearing both sides of this argument, I've determined, Austin, you are the winner. Couldn't agree with you more. While I do agree that our offense needs some extra pass catchers, pass rush is the most important part of a team. You've got a chance at 22 to get a premium player with Kwity Paye. Not just Kwity Paye. There's going to be a handful of pass rushers there at 22 that you can pick from. Pick the guy, whichever one John Robinson thinks is going to be the best impact player. Rotate him in with Dupree. Rotate him in with Landry, because we are one Bud Dupree injury away or one Harold Landry injury away from rolling out Brooks Reed or Wyatt Ray or Lucas Watson at defensive end. And God knows we don't want that. So if things get bad on the offense, guess what? We're just going to turn the hand to Derrick Henry, 12 more times. We don't have that option or that luxury on defense. Go get a defensive player. If you don't want to go pass rush, hell, even go corner, because we don't really have any good corners. Defense, defense, defense.
That's a good thing about the wide receiver class. It's so deep in this draft that we might get a first-round talent in the second round.
Just like we did with A.J. Brown.
Exactly. And I just want to point out I'm 1-0 in debates, and I'm going to stay undefeated in the future pods too.
All right.
It's on.
Well,
it is on.
Now that we know who the master debater is,
Bruh.
let's see if we can give away some Two-Tone Blue Nation swag to another lucky winner. We're moving on to segment 3.
Now this is Two-Tone Tailgate Trivia, where every episode we will be bringing on a new guest for the chance to win some awesome prizes and to show just how much they really know about our beloved Tennessee Titans. Now this week's lucky guest is going to be our good friend, Mr. Taylor Hurst from Cali Mesa, California. He's actually representing from the California Titans tailgate group himself. Taylor, thank you for joining us, bud, man. How you living?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate it. How's everybody doing?
So we're living the dream out here, that's for sure.
I'm honored that you guys let me be on the show with you guys today and have this chance for some trivia.
Absolutely, man. You're officially the first contestant on Two-Tone Tailgate Trivia. And just because we know you pretty well doesn't mean we're going to take it easy on you, okay?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely no pressure whatsoever. Let's do this.
All right, no pressure at all. Let's go over some rules real quick. This is going to be a basic 5-question trivia setup. You're going to have 90 seconds to answer all these questions. You can skip any question you don't know and come back to it before time runs out. If time runs out, though, you're no longer able to answer and the game is over. In order to win the grand prize, you've got to get all 5 questions correct, okay?
All righty.
All right, these questions are designed to be fun and challenging, but not impossible. Are you ready?
Yes. So 90 seconds for all the questions, right?
I'm gonna read you all the questions. If you don't know it and you want to come back to it, just say skip or pass, okay?
Okay, gotcha. All right.
All right. Two-Tone Tailgate Trivia begins in 5, 4, 3, 2. What city played host to the Titans' only Super Bowl appearance?
Atlanta, Georgia.
With what pick overall was Isaiah Wilson selected in the 2020 NFL Draft?
Pass.
During the Music City Miracle, who was the first Titans player to touch the ball?
Frank Wycheck.
When Nashville hosted the NFL Draft in 2019, who was the first overall pick?
Oh, shoot. I know this one. A pass. Come back. Yeah.
Who is the Titans' current offensive coordinator?
Oh, shoot. I know that guy's name. He's brand new. I can see his face. Pass.
30 seconds.
Okay, pass. Pass on that one. Sorry.
When Nashville hosted the NFL Draft in 2019, who was the first overall pick?
That would be. I'm gonna shoot in the dark. Pass.
Who is the Titans' current offensive coordinator?
I can't. I give up. I don't know.
All right.
I'm free to blame.
And all right, question 1. You got correct. What city played host? That's Atlanta. That was back in 2000. Isaiah Wilson was the 29th overall pick in the draft. During the Music City Miracle, you actually got this one wrong. This is kind of a trick question. The first player to touch the ball was Lorenzo Neal.
Oh, Lorenzo, that's right. Yeah,
He fielded it, handed it to Frank Wycheck, tossed it across to Dyson.
Oh, that's right.
All right. The first overall pick in 2019 when Nashville hosted the draft was Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. Oh.
And the Titans' current offensive coordinator was Todd Downing.
Yeah, Downing. All right.
All right.
He hasn't screwed up enough for me to remember his name yet. So
We'll remember his name for good or for worse eventually. All right. Well, sorry, bud. You didn't win the grand prize this time. You're going to save us a little money on shipping, so we appreciate that.
That's all right. I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man.
I'll do a lot better. All right. Well, I appreciate it, fellas.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, we look forward to seeing you at the home opener tailgate. You going to be able to make it out?
Absolutely. I'm gonna do my best. Yep. I always try and get out there for at least 2, sometimes 3 games. Last year even in COVID, I got 2 games and the playoff game. So hopefully I'll be out there.
Sounds great, man. We look forward to seeing you, buddy.
All right. Take care. Thanks, guys.
If you want more information about Two-Tone Blue Nation or how you can be on the podcast to play Tailgate Trivia, be sure to follow us on all of our socials.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Two-Tone Blue Nation Talk. Please subscribe to our podcast.
From all of us at Two-Tone Blue Nation, have a great day, and as always, tighten up.
Tighten up!
We gotta go.
Here it comes. Football.
But you've been listening to Two-Tone Blue Nation. If it's Tennessee Titans football, it's here. It's here. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be back soon. But until then, find us on Twitter at TwoToneBlueNat1. Find Big Luke at TwoToneBigLuke and King Cole at TwoToneBlueCole. Find us on Instagram at TwoToneBlueNation. Till next time, Titans Nation.
Spartans! What is your profession?